Welcome to the 3CoSports podcast with your three co-hosts, Luke, Alex, and Angel.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast that entertains you, informs you, and helps you win. Alex, Luke, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a job yesterday, so that was nice.
It's a W.
That is a W. Big dubs. But yeah, I'm doing pretty well because of that. How about you, Luke?
I'm doing good. I did not get a job yesterday, but I'm also doing pretty well. So, Angel, how are you doing today?
I also didn't get a job, but otherwise I'm doing pretty good. You know, happy to be waking up at 9 a.m. talking to the boys. Always happy to see Walter. You know, but so
yeah, Walter is Alex's little plushy thing that he keeps next to his microphone. In case anyone was wondering, go head over to the YouTube and check that out.
Yeah, Walter's the real MVP of the show. If you don't want to listen to us, just go on YouTube and watch Walter. Be great for an hour.
He's our rock. He's our pulse.
He's up before everybody else on this podcast. He's always he's in the studio before me.
Never complaining
He's always
either.
in the studio. He has a mixtape dropping soon.
Hell yeah.
This is called Walter.
So we have an acapella group forming, and we're also going to have a mixtape dropping. Wow.
Possibly.
3CoSports really branching out.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, you know who else is branching out?
Who, Angel? Tell me. This is gonna become a thing every week. Like, we all know, like, the ad read's coming, and we're just gonna have to see how Angel transitions it.
That's pretty much what the ad reads are at this point. Just how is Angel going to ad read today? And I'll tell you how I'll ad read today. I'll ad read by mentioning Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight is a DFS website that features fantasy games for sports such as the NFL, NHL, NASCAR, and much more. You can even play DFS for esports. Monkey Knife Fight has also partnered with the NFL Players Association in an unprecedented deal that focused on athletes' rights. So what are you waiting for? Go on monkeyknifefight.com and use promo code 3CO, that's the number 3CO, to double your initial deposit up to $50. Go make some MKFing money.
That was pretty good.
That was a good one. Not gonna lie. I mean, I already saw it in the show doc, but I did like that quite a bit, Angel.
So wait, you're saying he didn't freestyle that one in the show doc? What? You read off the show doc?
There's no show doc.
No, there's no show doc. That was off the dome, 100%.
We off the dome completely.
100% domer. Bars.
Thank you. All I do is freestyle, you know. That mixtape, I'm going to feature in Walter's mixtape.
God.
It's awful presumptuous of you guys to think you're getting a feature on Walter's mixtape.
Yeah, I don't
free.
think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna make it. It's gonna be like Lil Uzi and Gunna.
So Walter doesn't. Walter hates us already. Damn.
He doesn't hate you. It's just he's an in-demand artist.
Yeah, he's a businessman. He understands. He understands the market. It's gonna be like Roddy Ricch.
Damn. So he just comes on our podcast, features in it, but he won't let us feature in his mixtape.
He doesn't come on our podcast. We come on his podcast. Let's make that clear.
You're right. You're very right.
Excellent.
Alex, I heard we have some Russell Wilson news to talk about.
News is a strong way to describe this. It's more just like
rumors.
It's gossip at its heart. It's gossip about Russell Wilson.
Oh, I love gossip.
It's tea.
Ooh,
so yeah,
spill the tea, Alex.
The tea today, I think the most recent update to this Russell Wilson gossip is related to there are teams who are like, they see the Seahawks silence as being very provocative on this matter, which is the most
provocative. Why don't we both just do that, Angel? Anyway,
it was nice. I like that reaction. But yeah, it seems like this is clearly there's not a ton of other news to be talking about if this is a big headline, but yeah, it seems like teams are thinking, oh, maybe Russell Wilson is available because the Seahawks haven't said that he's not, which is like, okay, sure. And it's reported that the starting trade offer for him has to be at least 3 first-round picks, which makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. It's at least 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, like they didn't even have to say that one. So, I mean, I want to see what you guys think about this because I personally, if Russell Wilson gets traded, I don't really know anymore what's going on with the NFL. Like that would be shocking for me.
Yeah, if Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, and Russell Wilson all get traded this offseason, that would be absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just imagine how different the league would be next year. That'd be crazy. I do think there's some validity to the rumors of Russell and Seattle having some issues. I definitely think he's frustrated with not being able to throw the ball as much as he wants to in Pete Carroll's offense and not being able to like handpick the offensive coordinator he liked. Because I think he liked the offensive coordinator that was there, and then firing him and replacing him kind of pissed him off a little bit. And I think he's just tired of the whole like, oh, let's just run the ball thing. When Russell Wilson's like a god and he has DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, like why can't they just air the ball out? As if I were an elite quarterback, that would make me pretty pissed as well. So, I mean, I definitely understand why he's upset. And I think there is some smoke there in Seattle. I think there is some tension. But I feel like this is kind of like we've seen with other quarterbacks before. Like I'm sure we can all think of a quarterback from like a couple years ago that's like had some like irritation with the organization that they figure it out and move on. I think obviously it's Russell Wilson. I think the Seahawks would be stupid to just be like, no, this is how we're going to do things, and just like basically just like force him out. I think they have to listen and be open and make some changes, or else their franchise is going to end up going down the crapper totally. Because like, I mean, if the Seahawks trade Russell Wilson, they're going to have to completely rebuild that franchise. They know if they trade him, they're not going to be winning for a while. And if they do keep him, I mean, they have a shot to be in the playoffs every single season for the next like 8 years. So I don't see why you would ever let him go if you can.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If the Seahawks trade Russell Wilson, I would be bamboozled. I would be flabbergasted. I would be dumbfounded. I would probably join Ethan in drinking orange juice out of a shoe. And yeah, and I'm not sure if Seattle would ever live it down. I don't think there's any possible way Russell Wilson leaves. I agree completely with you, Luke. When it comes to the tension, there's definitely tension there. It's been years since they won a championship. And back when they won the championship, it wasn't because of Russell Wilson. So you have to imagine that he still feels, hello, truck, that he still feels.
How did you get the truck?
Honked at me.
I didn't get the truck, but you got the truck, and you're in the room next to me. I don't understand. There was no truck outside my... It's like, what?
That was the best part is after Angel said hello truck, Alex turned immediately and like looked outside. And he was just so confused.
There was no truck outside of my window. I was like, what? Is it a ghost truck?
It might be a ghost truck. The ghost of Russell Wilson following us.
The ghost of Russell
Wilson. Alert. Is that going to be a new thing? Ghost truck
but Angel, a good point what you were saying is like the last Super Bowl they won was not because of him really. But that Super Bowl they lost where he passed the ball instead of running the ball.
Hey, that's not his fault. How are you going to blame him for that? I know, that's what I was saying.
No, that's what I was about to say. I was like, it looks like it was Russell Wilson's fault, but Pete Carroll should have ran the ball. So
right.
I don't know.
Right. Like, you have Marshawn Lynch, man. I still can't get over that. I mean, I'm happy about it, obviously. Like,
yeah, you guys are Patriots fans. I was watching that game with one of my best friends. I was best friends with a guy named Dylan when I was in like 7th grade or so, 8th grade. And during that Super Bowl, he was at my house, and we were watching the game together, and he was like so depressed, like they were about to lose, and then they got the interception, and he got so excited. It was hilarious. And then he was also at my house for the 28-3 Super Bowl, and he was like sitting in the corner, like crying. And then they came back and won, and he was so hype. It was amazing.
Love that for him.
Yeah, that's good.
I have a question about Russell Wilson for you guys. Do you guys how much do you think Seattle is turned off at all by this whole like Mr. Unlimited gimmick that he's like picked up in the last 2 years, where he thinks he's like LeBron James even though he's got one Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I feel like he's kind of just doing that to be like, it's almost like a marketing campaign for himself, I'd say. Like, I feel like he's not like a cringe ball like that all the time, because if he was, I would not like it very much either.
But do you think that he's like,
Wilson.
Do you think it's like, do you think it's them worrying that it's becoming a TB12 thing, where it's like
TB12 thing?
the cult of personality takes over the quarterback and it becomes more about the quarterback than the whole organization? Do you think that's one of their concerns and that's why they might want to move him?
I mean, no shade to the Seattle Seahawks organization, but I feel like we all view that franchise as Russell Wilson's team anyway.
For sure.
So, I don't know.
That's a really good point.
I'm just like I'm thinking about it and I'm like maybe Seattle is tired of being like having this reputation for being carried by Russell Wilson, and maybe they want to reestablish like, oh, we have the Legion of Boom, like we're a defensive team. Like, you think it's like just the organization being too prideful at a certain point?
I would say so, just because I feel like if you stick to this whole like let's run the ball and win with defense thing, when your defense isn't that good and Chris Carson's leaving as an unrestricted free agent this offseason, then I think you really need to sit down and evaluate where your strengths and weaknesses are as an NFL offense. And you can see, okay, we have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and one of the best quarterbacks to ever throw a football. So maybe we should throw the football and not rely on our defense that's very average.
Hashtag analysis.
That's just my opinion, but Pete Carroll, don't come for me.
I mean, look at the two teams that won the Super Bowl. They were offenses that knew when to throw the ball and when to pass the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when's the last time, like in the last like 3 years or like 4 years, that, like a defensive like let's pound the rock running team has like really made a deep run? Okay, actually the Titans did last year, but that offense was very efficient in all regards, not just running the ball.
Yeah,
right.
And I mean,
they also had Derrick Henry. Yeah, but they also had Derrick Henry. They didn't have Chris Carson. So I mean, it's a pretty big difference, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, even the Rams. A couple of years ago in that low-scoring Super Bowl, they were a team that knew how to pass the ball deep. They knew how to, just they weren't dependent on the run game like Seattle tries to be. Like, they aren't dependent.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they want to be dependent on Chris Carson, and I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
But I do know something we do get, and that is the 2021 rookie running back class. Now, I'm really excited to talk about this one with you guys because I am in quite a few dynasty leagues, and I feel like talking this through with you will help me better understand the prospects. So, Alex, why don't you go ahead and Alex,
listen, I want you to confuse Angel completely today. He's in some of my dynasty leagues. Don't give him any analysis.
Dude, I have like 4 first-round picks in the league I'm in him with. I need your help. Help me.
Okay, fine. I guess you can help him. I guess.
Yeah.
So you want me to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, get the ball rolling. Run the ball. Tote it on
You're
first
Mr.
down.
Devi. Mr. Devi around here.
Mr. Devi, I guess that's me today. Yeah, so let's start with the guy who I have as my running back one. Naji Harris, Alabama. You might have heard of him. He's pretty good this year. Pretty good for the last 4 years. He's pretty, Naji Harris. Yeah, he's pretty good running back, I guess. Yeah. He definitely he rose up the Devi rankings for me this year over on Dynasty Nerds. If you want to check those out.
Oh, nice plug.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Check them out.
Please do.
Also, if you ever want to look at Dynasty Superflex rankings, check mine out.
No, we're doing see those. Great today.
You don't want to see those.
Guess what? Angel doesn't have rankings.
Whoa.
What a loser.
Oh, okay.
Angel's gonna cry.
Here I was supporting you guys, and I just feel attacked now.
No, I'm kidding.
Please don't muckrack Angel in the chat. Banned. Okay, let's get this back on track. We're
banned.
We're 14 minutes in. We haven't talked about anything besides Russell Wilson. Okay, Naji Harris.
No, this is great.
Oh yeah, we're having a good time. We're keeping it loose. We're flowing.
Keeping it loose.
Yeah, Naji Harris. He's a big bruising runner. He's 6'2", 230. He's got a very good receiving back. Like he's got a forte to be a pretty good receiving back. And interestingly enough, my pro comparison for him is Matt Forte because they're both. Oh come on.
That's kind of gross, Alex. Not gonna lie.
It was an accident. I didn't plan it. It was just my words kind of planned it for me. But anyway, yeah, I feel like he's a plug and play starter. He could be a 3-down back. For a long time, it seemed like he was just going to be a first and second down sort of like power back. But this year, he really came into his own as a receiver. He forced 69
Nice.
69 missed tackles this year, which was like the second best mark of any running back in this draft. And I really do like his fit with Pittsburgh, Buffalo, the Jets, the Dolphins, basically anybody who can get their hands on him. Yeah, I really like the Pittsburgh one. That's my number one. I don't usually like root for Pittsburgh to get guys who I like, but this would be great for fantasy football. So I guess I'll swing this to Mr. Pittsburgh Steelers fan Luke Sawhook to see what he thinks.
Hi, that's me. So for Naji Harris, I think Alex touched on it very well. He's a hulk of a man, and he actually is a very good receiver, which is really weird. Like, imagine if Derrick Henry was a really good receiver. Like, I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but just like imagine like a giant power back that's like has really good hands. Like, it's kind of weird. But I like you said though, I do think the Steelers are a good fit. I don't know if they are going to draft him though. As a Steelers fan, I'm starting to lean towards us taking an offensive lineman in the first round. I think that's kind of where the organization's going to go. I think a lot of people estimate that they're going to go offensive line and running back in the first 3 rounds at some point. I think they definitely need to draft a running back. I think they would be very stupid to not draft a running back in the first 3 rounds because, I mean, they already spent a 4th on McFarland last year and he did not do much. I mean, it's obviously possible someone could step up next season, but I do not think a backfield of Benny Snell, Jalen Samuels, and Anthony McFarland is going to get the job done at all. I mean, we saw it a little bit last season and how bad it is. I think they definitely do need to invest heavily into the offensive line so the running back can run, because right now it is very bad. They were the 32nd ranked rushing offense last year in the entire NFL. So they definitely need to make an investment into the running game. So I feel like them going offensive lineman in the first round at number 24 and then going running back in the second round would be a pretty wise decision. It'll be interesting to see where they go. I do think also one of my favorite picks for a place that we were talking about just a little while ago would be Naji Harris to Seattle. I feel like that would be pretty freaking awesome.
That would be a good
because
fit.
Carson would leave. It'd be like Marshawn Lynch 2.0, and it'd be amazing. But it'll be interesting to see where he lands because I feel like regardless of where he lands, I'll be in on Naji because he's definitely a 3-down back. So,
For sure.
Angel, what are you thinking?
Well, he's a running back that excels in between the tackles, yet is also underrated rushing around the perimeter. So that to me, adding the fact that his hands aren't as soft as aren't as hard as some other people might think, they are pretty soft. And
Very soft.
Oh God,
He uses
do you hear
lotion.
that? Now I don't know what to say, but yeah, he's an underrated pass catcher, and I feel like a power scheme would be best for him, just so that he can rush up the middle, bowl over people as the Lord has him meant to do. But it's going to be a shame because I really do think he would fit well in the Steelers. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. I agree with you. They should take an offensive lineman first round, and he's not going to be there by the time the second round rolls around and the Steelers are there.
No.
So it's a shame. I'm very curious to see where he lands up because wherever he goes, he's going to be a monster. He's one of 2 running backs in this class that I feel like no matter where they end up, they're going to be RB1s at some point in the careers.
Let's do something for all these running backs while we're doing this. Let's all make a prediction right now of where they're going to get drafted. Just like pull up a mock draft or something and let's just make a prediction real quick. I think Naji's going to go in the first round at some point. I don't think he's going to make it to the second. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I need to look for the teams real quick, but I definitely think he's going to be a first round pick.
Yeah. I mean, I can plug in my pick right now. I'm going to say Steelers first round. I feel like they can get an offensive lineman later. And okay. It's what I want to see, so I'm going to manifest it.
I do want to see that as well. My mock draft I'm trying to pull up is not loading for some reason, so that's unfortunate. Let's see here.
While you do that, I'll just go ahead and say Dolphins second round.
Okay. When are they picking second round? What pick is that?
They have the Texans pick.
Yeah, so it would be.
Do they have it in the second round as well?
Yeah, they have.
That'd be 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. Definitely possible. I don't know if he'll sneak out of the first round though. I think. Let's see here. The Jets at 23 would make sense. They need a running back. The Dolphins at 24 makes sense. Wait, is this? No, that's a trade with the Steelers in this mock draft. So never mind. The Steelers at 24 is also a good fit. Let's see. Huh. You know what? No, I'll call my shot. Yeah, I'll call my shot. I'll take the Jets number 23 for Naji. Wait, no, they're not 23. It's the Seahawks apparently. What is this mock draft? Wait, no, it is. Wait, sorry. It is the Jets pick. That's the pick they got from the Jamal Adams trade. My bad. So I'm officially calling. Najee Harris to the Jets at 23. That's my prediction. And I will be very sad because the Steelers will be on the clock right after that, and Najee will be sniped. But it's okay.
Imagine a Justin Fields, Najee Harris duo in
That'd be nice.
New York. That'd be
It
pretty
reminds
nice.
me of back in the draft where the Browns took Baker Mayfield at 1, and everyone was wanting them to get Saquon at 4. And that didn't happen because they got Denzel Ward. But imagine if they got Baker and Saquon. That would have been pretty fun. But they also got Chubb in that same draft, didn't they?
Yeah, they got the best deal, I think. They got the maybe the best running back in the class, and they got Denzel Ward. They aced that draft.
Yeah, they definitely aced that draft, for sure. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Let's get into the next guy.
Alrighty.
Travis Etienne, a.k.a.
No.
Travis
Etien.
Please don't.
Etienne.
Stop.
What are you doing?
I hate that.
Basically, I mispronounced his name for a very long time, and Alex was very nervous that I would go on this podcast and call him Travis Etienne, so I felt the need to go ahead and do so.
That pronunciation's so gross, Angel.
It hurts
Atini.
my
So much
soul.
fun.
It's awful.
Ugh.
Martinez.
I feel like it'd be fine if we call. I kind of want to call him ET.
No, I don't want to call him. I want to call him by his
No.
name.
Etienne.
I might call him ETD later. But yeah, it's definitely ET. Anyway, Alex, take it away.
All right. I need to like shake off the disgust from Angel for like just a.
I'll help
Yeah, I
you.
agree.
Here.
Let's get
Alex-
rid of it.
What's good with Travis Etienne? Tell us.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for correcting that.
Thank you, Angel.
Travis Etienne, very well-rounded running back. He's a really good pass catcher. He's really good in between the tackles. There's not a lot to dislike about him because you got 4 years of sample size from him at Clemson. He was good every single year. He got better every single year. And the only thing that I could really nitpick about him is sometimes when he's running, he'll look to make like a big splashy run rather than taking a nice easy run. Occasionally there will be a hole up the middle where he can just go up, get 4 or 5 yards, keep pushing the ball, and he'll try to bounce out and just make something happen. And sometimes he does make it happen, but in the NFL, it's not going to happen as often as it did for him at Clemson, especially when he's not playing, Wake Forest and Syracuse and, crummy ACC bottom feeders, BC, even though, I like BC, but, and my comparison for him is a light version of Alvin Kamara. He's not going to be Alvin Kamara, obviously, but I think they do a lot of the same shit. Yeah, sorry for my vulgarity there.
No, it's funny.
I like to use the word shit just it works for a bunch of different contexts.
Yeah, it's
so
just a
It's a
filler.
really great word.
it's a perfect
good word.
word.
Good word.
Yeah.
Well
And so
triggered.
some of the best fits that I have for him are San Francisco because, they know how to use running backs out there. Miami,
Ew.
because Miami could use a guy who's not Myles Gaskin or who's the other guy, Salvan Ahmed. Like,
Yeah.
maybe let's get a running back who's not from Washington at this time. And then I think the Jets also are a good fit for Etienne because he could be like what they thought Le'Veon Bell was going to be and just
Absolutely.
better. So, yeah, Luke, what do you think? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I like Etien a good bit. I think you described him pretty well. He's a nice receiving back, and he is a nice in between the tackles runner. The Alvin Kamara comparison was interesting. Do you think he's just as shifty as Kamara?
No, I
Or
think
what do you mean?
he's like I said he was like the light version of Kamara, so he can do
Okay.
a lot of the Kamara stuff, but it's like there is an Alvin Kamara, and then there is like oh no, Walter just
Oh,
fell.
Walter. No.
No.
There
Not
is-
Walter.
There is Alvin Kamara, and then there are people who play like Alvin Kamara, and he is a person who plays like Alvin Kamara.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
That's fair,
I like his running style a good bit. I mean, I haven't watched a ton of film on these guys yet, but ETN, I've seen a lot of his highlights and stuff, and he has a very nice feel for the game. And I feel like the issue you said about him always looking to make big plays could be fixed in the NFL just by, like, you're in college, you play for Clemson, you play a lot of garbage teams. Like, why not just, like, try to rip off an 80-yard run rather than getting, like, 4? But, I mean, obviously, I feel like an NFL coach will fix that. But yeah, I think Etienne's a great talent. I think we've seen a lot of him in Clemson, like too much to know that he's not terrible. Like I feel like he'll definitely be pretty solid at the next level. I think he just has to land in a good spot. My prediction for him, this one's kind of gross, but I'm gonna make it anyway. I feel like the Bills at 30 might make sense. I kind of like it. I don't know. Alex, you don't like it at all. I kind of like it. I think they need a good running back that's not Devin Singletary and Zach Moss.
I just don't like the idea of like a team throwing early picks at running backs 3 years in a row. It's just like it's so disheartening from a team building perspective.
But yeah, it is. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just looking at the first round right here. I probably should pull up the second round as well.
It does make sense though, because he would be better than the other two guys, but it just like it bothers the GM inside of me to think about a team that just like worked. I guess we're just going back.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I'm just saying. I mean, like, what do the Bills really need though? I mean, I think they need a better running back, but I don't really know.
Line.
Is their offensive line poor? I don't really know. The Jags at 33 also might be a good fit there, but they already have James Robinson, so probably not. The Jets at 34, if they don't get a running back already, might be a good fit. The Falcons at 35 is actually a sneaky fit as well because they need a running back really bad. Because they have Old Man Gurley and who is it, Ito Smith? I don't even remember. Yeah, the Falcons at 35 is a sneaky one for running backs for sure. The Dolphins at 36, they actually have him in this mock draft going right there, Travis Etienne. That would be an awesome fit. I mean, if he went to the Dolphins, I'd be very happy with that for fantasy. The Eagles don't need a running back. I don't know. But yeah, I guess I'll call my shot right there. I think I'll have Travis Etienne going to well, actually I changed my mind. I have him going to the Falcons at 35. That's my guess.
I would love to see that. Etienne's definitely the most NFL ready back in this class, I feel like. He's the most well-rounded. So because of that, despite the fact that I typically like players like Naji Harris on my fantasy squad, I actually have Travis Etienne as my RB1 of this class.
Wow.
That could change, but I feel like no matter where he lands, he's got the type of skill set where he won't need much time to adjust. So I feel like he could be a high-end RB2 as early as this season. I think Naji Harris will be better overall long-term, but because I'm looking short-term here, that's why Travis Etienne is my RB1. In terms of fits, I love the 49ers fit, and that's where I would personally like to see him drafted. I believe Alex, given the fact that he just started dancing, might agree with that take. But it's not where I see him landing. I do see him landing in New York. I feel like New York's going to completely revamp that offense. No, says Alex.
Alex is pissed.
Alex hates that fit. He doesn't want to see Atien ruined, and I agree with you. But I feel like if New York really wants to build excitement for their fan base, getting a new quarterback and a new running back might just do the trick. And they definitely shouldn't invest in a running back that early, but it is the Jets, and they aren't exactly known for making good decisions. Hence why I think that he'll probably go to them in the second round.
That's fair.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know if I gave my fit for him or where I want him to go. But I'm just gonna say Miami because I think Miami, he would be a good fit there. So Miami at whatever 30 something, whatever, wherever they have that Houston pick in the second round.
I believe it's 35.
Yeah, 35. All right. So that brings us to our third guy on the list, Javonte Williams, North Carolina. He's the biggest riser from this running back group. From what I've seen with him, he played. This was by far the best season of his college career for the Tar Heels. He's a really good downhill runner, has a lot of burst. He's got pretty good hands. He's an overall pretty good receiver. He's a pretty well-rounded back. He's kind of like the in-between. If you like Harris and Atien, he can do things that both of them do. And I think the 1 year sample size of like dominance does kind of like he was good before, but this 1 year was definitely like a huge step up for him. So that worries me a little bit, but I like his vision. I think he's got good balance. He's a very patient runner. He sees the holes really well. And he could develop into a pretty good 3-down back if the right team gets him. My pro comp for him is Josh Jacobs, but I don't think he's going to be like Josh Jacobs off the bat. I just think they have very similar styles, and I think if he's used in the same capacity, he could be a similar fantasy asset. I like his fit with Pittsburgh, obviously, because I like most running backs in this class with Pittsburgh since they need one so bad. Miami as well. Yeah, like anybody would be better than what they have right now. Same thing for the Dolphins. I think they are a good fit for most running backs. I think just about anybody at the top of this class could work there. I also like Arizona for Javonte Williams because I feel like he'd be better than Kenyon Drake while doing pretty similar stuff. What do you think, Luke? What are you thinking about Javonte Williams?
Yeah, I think you summed him up pretty well. I think he's a good runner. The late riser thing is a bit concerning, but I'm with you on the fact that it doesn't scare me that much because I feel like when running backs take a step forward, it's not too often that you see him take a step backward. I feel like they usually just keep going forward and keep progressing. I mean, it's fine to develop. It's not really an issue. Yeah, he's a big dude. I would like him to see in a lot of the similar teams that you just said. I think he'll be a second-round guy probably. I feel like some fits... I think the Jets would be a really nice fit there. I mean, I think you think the Jets are kind of gross, Alex, but the Jets would be pretty nice for Javonte, I'd say. I mean, any team that really needs a running back would be awesome. That's always what we're just hoping for fantasy is the guy lands at a spot that opportunity is welcomed and needed and given to the rookie running backs, like the opposite of Keyshawn Vaughn landing in Tampa Bay. That was gross. We don't want that anymore. Anything but that, please. That's all he wants. So Javonte is a good running back. I feel like he will be a second-round guy probably, and it'll be interesting to see where he lands.
Hell yeah.
I can't say much more than what you guys are. Hell yeah? Are we all in agreement? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh my lord. I'm going to have to put a headphone warning for that one. But I won't go on too much longer because you guys summed it up really well. He's my RB3 in this class. When I was watching his film, I was really, really impressed with his balance. I mean, he would get hit and he would just somehow stay upright, which I think is a really important skill to have. It's obviously going to be different in the NFL with bigger bodies and bigger defenders. But I was still really impressed with it. He's a powerful back. He creates missed tackles, and I was really impressed with his vision. He's a very patient runner, and he hits the hole the moment that it's there. I feel like he would be best suited for a one-cut system. So I could definitely see him thriving on the Dolphins. This is my homer. This is me being a homer, but I feel like he would be really good on the Patriots. I feel like he's the type of runner that would excel in their system.
I mean, that sounds kind of gross to me, but I don't know.
I would love to see him there.
I mean, look what happened to Sony Michel.
One good season, his knee just became doo-doo.
It's the ants and sticks knees. We talked about that one.
Yeah, he's made ants and sticks.
He's got.
It's just like I don't know. I feel like a good running back in New England feels gross because I feel like their ceiling is really handicapped if you land in New England because you have James White and Damian Harris just like nipping at your ankles constantly. So they're always just going to be
Damian Harris, the running back that's more valuable than Denzel Mims.
That is Damian so Harris? False, but okay. Keep going with that train, guys. Keep going with that train. Wait for next season when Mims gets an actual good quarterback and they have a better supporting cast.
I can't wait till he sucks and Damian Harris is way better than him. I'm going to look so stupid. I mean, you're going to look so stupid.
I have Denzel Mims in the league. And
no, I'm fine.
Listen to this. We got to keep his value up. Denzel Mims is going to be good, just not as good as Damian fucking Harris, the best running back.
Maybe for redraft, but for dynasty, like 5 years from now, talk to me about Denzel Mims versus Damian Harris. Damian Harris is going to be like a bum somewhere in 5 years.
They're both going to be out of the league in 5 years, but one of them's going to have like 2 running back 2 seasons.
Did you just say Mims is going to be out of the league in 5 years?
You do realize that not every receiver plays 15 years like everybody seems to think in Dynasty?
But 5 years? I mean, that's like not that much. That's a second contract.
If he does, there's a lot of guys who don't make a second contract in the NFL. That's like very normal.
I know, but he was a pretty early pick.
So there's a lot of early picks that don't work out.
I think he's good.
We'll see, I guess.
We'll see. I mean, it's definitely possible. I'm not like a Mims truther. I mean, I feel like he's a pretty solid guy, but I don't like love him or anything. But I feel like you guys just hate on him for some reason.
I don't hate on him.
Division? Do you guys hate the Jets?
No, the guy missed 11 games as a rookie. Like that's always a bad sign. N'Keal Harry missed 11 games as a rookie, and look how that turned out.
For him. Don't you dare start with the N'Keal Harry.
Oh,
don't you dare.
The N'Keal Harry comparison.
What do you want me to say?
You want to hear?
Missing time as a rookie as a receiver is a bad thing. It almost never is able to be recovered from.
We'll see.
Historically, he is right about that. But anyways.
Fine.
Anyways, cool. Javonte Williams, love him. He won't go to the Patriots, but personally I would like to see him there just because I'm a homer. In terms of where I actually see him going, I feel like he's someone that could end up on the Bills. Like, I don't want to see many running backs go there, but I'm going to go ahead and call my shot and say the Bills in the 3rd round. I think he drops quite a bit.
3rd rounds. I was
Yep.
really thinking about Javonte dipping into the 3rd. Very strong take, Alex. Thank you.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. I was like,
No, it's fine. But yeah, no, I think it's possible he slips to the 3rd, but I feel like if he makes it to the 3rd, this whole running back class could be going down the drain a little bit. Because if he makes it to the 3rd, who's like some people's like RB1, like that doesn't show very strongly of how NFL teams value these running backs, which could be kind of bad. So I hope he ends up in the 2nd.
yeah, I mean, I do think he'll be in the 2nd round. I apologize for being distracted by
It's cool.
something earlier. But yeah, I think it would be weird if he didn't go in the 2nd round. But if he doesn't go in the 2nd round, it's probably because like guys have risen above him, which isn't the worst thing for the class. It just depends on how he works out at the combine and stuff.
Do you think someone like Kenneth Gainwell can rise above him?
What a transition, Angel.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Professional transition.
Professional.
Kenneth Gainwell is an interesting player because he didn't play this year. He opted out of the season because he had like some devastating COVID stuff happen with his family. I think he had 3 or 4 family members who passed away from it, and I think he had enough being like he didn't want to be around football, and just like it seemed like too much for him, which I can't blame him for at all.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that he ended up entering the draft after missing that season because he'd only played 1 full season as the starter for Memphis before that, and he was super good. He was awesome. He's a great player because he's a very developed receiving back despite having a pretty small sample size of work in college, which is the thing I really like about the Memphis program. Like, as we saw with Antonio Gibson and Darrell Henderson,
Woof.
Tony Pollard, like they do know how to develop pretty good dynamic playmakers who can play running back and also catch passes. And Gainwell might be the best of the bunch, honestly. He might not be Antonio Gibson levels of like pure dominance when he's on, but he could be the most consistent version of that because his hands are just phenomenal. Like he is like a wide receiver out there. He runs great routes as well. He's not super like fast. Like his 40-yard dash time might even be 4.5, 4.6. It's unclear exactly where that's at, but he's not like the kind of guy who's gonna just like burn you downfield if you like split him out wide. But he's very shifty. He looks really good in space. Like he can bounce around. He's very like LaShawn McCoy-esque the way he moves around. I think he protects the ball a little bit better. He has kind of like a improvisational running style, which is interesting. It can create big plays for him, and it can make some very exciting runs, but it can also get him into trouble. And I think that'll get ironed out once he gets into an NFL system. I like him a lot as a fit with the Cardinals because I think they could use a guy like that who can just move around the field and kind of accelerate their air raid offense. I also like him for Tampa Bay, honestly. I feel like Tampa Bay could use a receiving back like him. And I also like him for Houston.
Gross. Tampa Bay is kind of gross, man.
It's just you're scared of competition, Luke. It's not a little competition.
I am. Well, I just feel like Bruce Arians hates rookies. Like, he just doesn't really give them opportunity. And, like, if Rojo and Fournette are back there next season, I don't really think there's a path to much fantasy relevance.
That's year 1, though. But then after that, Fournette, free agent probably. Rojo, free agent. I mean, you just gotta look at the long-term outlook.
Yeah, Houston's not bad. I just feel like I don't know. Houston's gonna be so gross next season. I feel like it's like they're my pick for the number 1 pick next year. If like this projecting a Watson trade, like if Watson is off that team, like they're gonna be a dumpster fire next season. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I don't really like Houston that much, but obviously if a rookie running back went there and they were invested in with like a 2nd round or 3rd round pick, and they had to have the dumpster fire, I mean, they're going to feed him. I mean, look at James Robinson. They fed him in a dumpster fire, and it worked out pretty well. So, I mean, anything's possible. Yeah, I think he describes Gainwell pretty well. How would you compare his play style to Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I would say that Clyde was... I think they are similar, but I feel like Clyde is more of a manufactured receiver. I don't know how his like route running was not something super special. He just kind of knew how to move around in a running back way, where Kenneth Gainwell is like, you could legitimately throw him in the slot and just have him go to work there, and he would be very effective. And I do think that Clyde was a little bit better of an athlete overall, and I think his frame is also going to be easier to fill out than Gainwell, because Gainwell is like 5'10", 190, that's pretty much a receiver, honestly. Like if you're looking at
that's a light boy.
Yeah, so it could be hard for him to add weight and not lose like shiftiness.
Right.
So that'll be interesting. I definitely think that Clyde was more projectable to get bigger and get bigger in an effective way than Gainwell is, which is my biggest concern with him.
For sure.
I feel like, random thought, but if Seattle did want to accommodate Russell Wilson and they decided that they want to transition to a more pass-based offense, maybe Gainwell would be a good fit on the Seahawks as the underneath option that Russell Wilson desperately needs. Because Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, obviously, two of the best deep options in the league. But it feels like they lack that underneath option that can really allow Russell Wilson to escape from the pressure, Because the offensive line is not going to be rebuilt overnight. But Antonio Gibson is such a good runner. He thrives in the slot and the screen game so much that it could be a good fit for Seattle if they decided that they wanted to appease Russell Wilson through the draft.
Tell me more about this Antonio Gibson fella.
Did I say Antonio Gibson?
You might have. I don't know.
Because it's a good player comp, so I feel like Gainwell, not Gibson, to Seattle would make a lot of sense. But I don't think you need me to tell you anything about Gibson. I feel like you might know him a little.
Oh, I know.
Well,
I know my boy.
This podcast is haunted. It's haunted by the Antonio Gibson poltergeist. He's just lurking in every conversation topic.
Yo, I need to get like an Antonio Gibson like fat head like right there, like where my mirror is, and just like put it there. I actually should.
That's a great idea.
Antonio Gibson fat head. How much are they? Let's look one up right now.
Oh boy. Well, you do that. One back that I'm not too familiar with, Alex, that hopefully you can help me out with is Michael Carter. Now, I know he was teammates with Javonte Williams, but I haven't seen too much of him. What can you tell me about him, and what's his projected outlook once he gets into the NFL?
I can keep it short and sweet with Michael Carter. He's a smaller back. He's like 5'9", 200 pounds. He reminds me he's almost an exact copy of Phillip Lindsay in my eyes. He's just a good explosive back. He can do the right things. He might never be like a superstar running back in the NFL, but he could be the lead back for a team in a similar capacity to Phillip Lindsay. I think maybe his fate is more just to be a change of pace back, which is fine. Like you can have a pretty good fantasy career being a change of pace back if you're on the right team, of course.
Right.
But one thing that really stood out to me was that he has the most in 2020. He had the most 15-plus yard runs of any running back in this class. He had 29. So wow. He is a playmaker. And there's a reason why he's super explosive. Yeah, there's a reason why he's risen up the board so quickly, despite being a senior and being one of the older running backs in this class. And
yeah, I feel like a lot of people rose on him while they were watching Javonte film.
For sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember seeing that on Twitter.
The 1-2 punch of those two guys was just like I don't know if it was. I think they just complemented each other super well. I think honestly, like Luke, I know you have a good comparison for that duo when you're done.
Oh yeah,
typing.
definitely. So I was thinking about the comparison between Javonte and Carter. Kind of like it reminds me of Georgia coming out with Nick Chubb and Sony Michel that one year when there were two guys that were kind of like thunder and lightning in the backfield that kind of combined into this weird duo during the draft where everyone was like wondering where they would go as far as like who would go first or who will end up having the best career. And it ended up being the guy who went second. Nick Chubb actually went after Sony Michel. Nick Chubb obviously is an elite running back right now, and Sony Michel, as Alex says, has Anson sticks for his knee. So we all know how that played out. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Carter. I think he's a pretty decent guy. I need to watch more film on him and see how I really feel about him. But I feel like it'll be interesting to see where he gets drafted. I feel like he'll be like a third-round guy, fourth round maybe. Probably third, though, mid-third. We'll see where he goes, though. He could have an interesting career depending on landing spot.
For sure. Angel, what are you thinking? You have anything to add about Michael?
I'm feeling a lot more informed It sounds like I don't really have much to add, but I do appreciate it because I do have those first round picks that need someone to be selected with. Do you think he goes in the first round in any rookie drafts, or is he more of a second or third round type of back?
I believe.
I feel like he's second.
Yeah,
Second?
I think in the latest Dynasty Nerds mock that is coming out, he ended up sneaking into the late first, but I didn't agree with that pick. I just don't think that the upside is there for him to be worthwhile of a first round pick. It reminds me of like Keyshawn Vaughn being a first round pick last year. It's like, oh, it's a running back, so we have to take him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And like the fits that I have for Michael Carter are all as him being like a backup immediately. Like I think in Denver, especially with like Philip Lindsay being a free agent, he'd be a good fit because he's Philip Lindsay essentially, and it would be a good replacement for him. I think Chicago could use a running back like him, like behind David Montgomery, because I don't want to see Ryan Nall be the backup again. He was terrible. I don't like him at all.
Well, Tariq Cohen is coming back, isn't he?
He's coming back, but they need like a running back there. I think like Tariq Cohen's he's good at what he does, but I feel like they need a guy if David Montgomery goes down who can just kind of like do the running back shit, because Tariq Cohen's a great receiver and he can like in a limited amount of touches, he's a good running back, but I don't want to see him. If David Montgomery goes down, I don't want to see Tariq Cohen getting 25 carries a game. I think he'll die.
Yeah,
So they need a running back.
Tariq
That'll
Cohen's
be
a
running
very
back shit.
interesting. Yeah, the running back shit. Tariq Cohen's a very interesting running back because he can be pretty good for fantasy and for real life, but he like lacks the full well-rounded skill set of a running back. Like I feel like he's very just like receivey shifty and not more of a runny trucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Running trucky.
one of my good friends, Sean Quinn, friend of the podcast,
Hi,
he would
Sean.
he would describe
Shout
him
out,
as
Sean.
he would describe Tariq Cohen as a quickie, tricky, scrappy backy.
Yeah, that's perfect. A quickie, tricky, scrappy backy.
Yes,
Excellent.
That
Can
is
we
what he
trademark
is.
that? Sean, come work with
Possibly.
us.
Yeah, Sean,
We
come
can
here.
do that. Just design a shirt that says that. But
Quickie, tricky, scrappy backy.
so basically, what I need to know about Michael Carter is that his stock is rising, but he might not be quite a fantasy relevant back in the first year of his career. Maybe later on, but not right now, is what I'm hearing, right?
I feel like it really depends on team fit, personally.
Got it. Okay, that's good to know. So it seems like he's kind of had the opposite trajectory of Chuba Hubbard, someone that
Oh man.
started off really well and then just started going on a downturn. So am I right?
Alex,
about
how do you
that?
feel? Yeah, Alex, how do you feel about Chuba? Because he's a very polarizing prospect, I'd say, as far as people feel about him, because he really tanked this past season.
Yeah, I still like him because when he's on, it's like this guy's unstoppable. And you can't say that about many guys, especially at the running back position, because there's guys who are like good. Like Travis Etienne is a good running back, but I don't know if there's ever moments where I'm like, oh, how are you going to stop this guy? Like it's like he's good, he's a very good player. But when Chuba Hubbard was on in 2019, it was like, oh my god, like if he's running down the field at full speed, you're not going to take him down. It almost reminded me of Derrick Henry, even though he's not the same like hulking fucking mastodon of a man that Derrick Henry is. But yeah, he reminds me when he's playing really well. Like he reminds me a lot of Chris Carson because he runs hard. He's tough to bring down, and he maximizes his athleticism. And like 2020 was a bad year for Chuba. He did not look good as a pass blocker. He didn't look good as a receiver. He didn't even look good as a runner. He was breaking he wasn't breaking many tackles at all after that's all he did is in 2019. So it'll be interesting to see what version of him shows up in the NFL. I definitely like him for Seattle because, you know, the Chris Carson comparison. If they could get a Chris Carson out of him, that's pretty good. I feel like he'd be a good fit with the Chargers as well because I think they could use a nice power back to complement with Austin Eckler. And
What do you mean, Alex? They already have Joshua Kelly.
Shut up. And I have one other place that I would like to see him land that's kind of interesting. I think the Titans would be an interesting place for him to be an understudy for Derrick Henry for a couple of years. I think he could learn how to be the best version of himself. And, maybe once Derrick Henry finally starts to slow down, they could transition to Chuba.
I actually really like that. It could be like what Derrick Henry was for DeMarco Murray, but like different.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then Chuba could kind of like you said, become the best version of himself again. And then once Derrick Henry starts to slip with age, which is gonna happen eventually. I mean, he's getting up there in age, and he's been the bell cow for so long. But Derrick Henry obviously is an elite breed of running back. Like, he's one of those guys that can just like go forever. But I mean, we'll see how he develops in the next 2 years or so. Like, yeah, I feel like a third or fourth, maybe even fifth round pick on Chuba could really pay off for a team. I feel like he'll probably be like a fourth round guy. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, fourth round is about where I have him. I could see him slipping to the fifth or sixth. It really just depends on what the market of the running backs are. Like, I do think there's guys who are going to go ahead of him, but I still see him as like the sixth best running back in this class on talent alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what you said about him is very true. Like, he's very I wouldn't say inconsistent, but he just like, he doesn't show a lot of times. So when he gets going with when he gets to like full speed, like, the man looks like an absolute monster.
Exactly.
It's just gonna matter of like what version of himself you'll see in the NFL. I think training camp and the draft process, like his pro day and stuff, are gonna really matter for his draft stock. Because if he like nails his pro day and the process, he could easily end up being a third rounder. But if he really sucks it up, like, he could probably wind up in the fifth or sixth. So it'll be really interesting to see where his outlook is, like what direction his arrow is pointing towards the end of the process, and like what teams are interested in him. It'll be very interesting to see what teams are at his pro day as well. That'll be something to pay attention to.
Absolutely. Angel, what are you thinking about Chuba over there? You look like you're being very pensive.
I'm thinking about I'm just imagining a future where Chuba's drafted into the NFL, right? He's about to get a carry on Sunday Night Football. And Chris Collinsworth just randomly mentions the fact that Chuba was a former track star as the one thing that they repeat over and over again for years to come. And it just made me really sad and pensive. I was like, that's his future.
Oh, God.
He's a track star. And he's Canadian also, don't forget that.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Canadian and a track star? Collinsworth's going to love this guy. This is a guy. No, what's he say? Now here's a guy who's a track star.
Wait, I can do the Collinsworth roll in.
Yeah, do it. The slide in.
Do it.
Your chair is so creaky.
I know, this thing sucks. I got this shit from my dad just gave me this thing. I don't know where it's from. It's probably like 20 years old.
We might have to get you a better chair, Alex.
Yeah.
All right. So what position are we doing next week? We're doing wide receivers?
We are going to be doing wide receivers.
That works for me.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait.
This wide receiver class is going to be awesome.
I know. It's really incredible. And last year's class, I can't wait to talk about that class as well.
Yeah, that's also going to be amazing.
Justin Jefferson.
2020 and 2021 were great for wide receivers. So, yeah. Alex, how would you compare overall this running back class to last year? Which one would you rather take?
I would take last year.
The whole class. Last year?
It's not like, I think this one is really top heavy. Like, I think the top guys of this class might even be better than the top guys of last year's class, but the amount of like just quality running backs that we had last year was ridiculous. Like, just looking at the show doc from last week, I was like, there's like 10 guys who I was like, wow, that guy was like actually really good this year, or like that guy could be really good next year. Like, it was pretty astounding, honestly. It definitely lived up to the hype, and it's crazy to think too that class could have had Naji Harris, Travis Etienne, and Chuba Hubbard in it.
Dude,
and it just didn't.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been
my God.
wild.
That would have been nuts. Jeez.
But Alex, I'm sorry. There was just one comment about that stuck out to me. Did you say you were looking at a show doc? I don't know what you're talking about.
What is a show doc? We don't have one.
I look at show docs occasionally, just to keep track of my thoughts and stuff.
No, anything but that.
No.
So I don't lose my train of thought. I got to kind of look at the show doc every once in a while.
No peeks behind the curtain are allowed, Alex.
None. I refuse to believe that. No, that's not true.
None.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
You know what else is impossible?
What, Alex?
I don't know, Luke. You want to tell us about Prediction Strike? Though?
Yeah, I will. The great transition.
Come
Thank you.
on.
I was waiting for like a smooth transition there, Alex. I was like, how is he gonna lob it to me? But I'll take it anyway.
I thought he was going to say something
PredictionStrike.com.
like predicting the future, what's impossible? Predicting the future. And then you could have been like, ooh, but actually it is possible with the brand new. Take it away, Luke.
Prediction Strike, the amazing website that is like if DraftKings and DFS had baby with the stock market, you can go in and invest in your favorite NBA and NFL players. For example, there's two different kind of investing strategies. There's one that's like a long-term investment, so you can buy some stock in like Patrick Mahomes because you know that baby's going to go up eventually anyway. Or you can play more of a DFS role and target players who you think, like for example, if Chris Godwin missed a week and Antonio Brown was still in, like you can invest in Antonio Brown because you think he's going to have a good week. And his stock will go up like double, and then you can sell and make some money. It's a great platform. You can use it however you want. You can add friends on there and see what their portfolios are like. There's great bonuses and giveaways happening all the time. Use promo code 3CO when you make your first deposit to get 50% back. So here's the promo code 3CO. It's 3CO over at PredictionStrike.com, and be sure to check it out. The developers are amazing people. It's an amazing website, so definitely go check that out.
I heard their social media page is pretty solid, too.
Yeah, I also run their Twitter. I was gonna say that their social media is amazing. I don't know why. I just said immediately, so that kind of ruined it. But
Damn.
I tweet stuff for them, so go look at their Twitter.
If you want to support the pod,
Strike.
go check them out.
This guy's exposing the business right now. Come on.
Yeah, we are. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Devin and Brad, my bad.
You're breaking kayfabe,
Guys.
Luke.
The social media guru has revealed too much. But yeah, guys,
Sorry about that.
any parting thoughts? So we have a Walter mixtape coming soon.
Walter mixtape coming soon. Angel called it Travis Etienne a teeny.
And TV.
Walter's waving by. Let's go, Walter
No,
Hog.
he was Millie rocking.
Millie rocking Walter. I don't think we need to say anything else, Angel. We got Millie rocking Walter.
How?
Let's go.
What better way to end than Walter dancing and sending us off? I don't think we can do anything
I don't
better.
think there's a better way.
Walter,
That's it.
thank you for your service.
Bye-bye.